Hey there, Onion. Good morning. Din 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 din. It's just the music. Yeah, it has this nice Asian flavor to it. Alright. I don't know what we're doing today. Hey, I'm doing well. I got a tooth removed, so maybe I will sound weird. At least in my head, I sound unusual, but maybe it doesn't translate much. Anyway, how are you doing? What have you been up to? Good morning, Solar Fun. Hey, Schmilicopter. You sound fine, only end of the sentence you can notice a difference, but if you didn't tell me I wouldn't notice. Well, that's good. It always sounds more weird in the head. Good morning, Solar Fun. How is life? Schmilicopter, what should we notice? Well, maybe nothing. Well, I got a tooth surgery this week, so I was wondering if I'd sound different because I do hear myself very differently. I lost a tooth, but we can't see it. I can draw a tooth. First of all, actually, let me go grab my what is it called? Holder for the Apple Pencil because I forgot it. Also, I just noticed that it's cracked. Uh-oh. Hello, good morning, Nervin. How is it going? Alright, I got my holder. Schmilicopter, how is life? You sound fine. I'm okay. The doctor said to eat a lot of paracetamol, and I'm snacking on it like chips. How is it going, Schmilicopter? How is art? Life? Did anyone draw anything fun this week? Don't understand an apartment. Nervin has a new apartment and it has a second floor for like half of the room. So it's like a bedroom upstairs. And a living room downstairs. In the meantime, let's see. I worked a little bit more on this map. Was thinking what we can do today. Don't really know, but Schmilicopter suggested to maybe show how to make this this forest brush. What do you think, guys? And I also want to try out some other techniques with making brushes, so maybe we can do that just to get us started. It only is gonna work for people who has Procreate though. Let's see, Nervin says, I turned heating off a few days ago and it was super cold the nights, but I just came here and it's super warm. Maybe it's because it's under the roof, the heat goes up. Or sun warming up the bricks. Is that Onion says? Alright, so to create the map, the brush. I have this brush here. which I used, but let's create a new one. So we go create a square. It needs to have black background, so I will just go to this and select black, and then on the separate layer let's paint with white. Let's check if it's white. Yep. So we're gonna pick maybe one of the default brushes. My neighbor underneath heats like crazy. Yeah, it could be that as well. Let's get a airbrushing. Where is airbrushing? There it is. Airbrushing, and maybe like this hard brush. Now we need to draw a tree. The easiest, like from the top. I think you can draw like first just sketch out kind of circles. This is gonna be a pine tree. And then on another layer, because this sketch we will remove. Yay, brushes! I was thinking to do an animated version of the cover for PR, because our books are coming to the warehouse on Tuesday already. But okay, now I'll create a brush, why not? You can create a brush and then use it to animate the thing. Don't have to create the forest brush necessarily. But yeah, congratulations Schmilicopter on illustrating and publishing a book. Do you want to share a link to it or something like that? I bet people will be happy to see it, maybe to your Instagram post. So now we're gonna just squiggle around a little bit, because you know, trees, they're not as even. And since it's gonna be a brush, we can't do really that much differentiation in the stroke, so the more generic it looks, the better. Schmilicopter, author and lead artist of the book. Nervin says, well, pay the heating together, no separate counters for heating. That's a communist concept. I feel like it's strange, because some people might not need the heat or not be there at all for like 3 months, but still pay for the heating for others. I'm not the author yet. Schmilicopter, we should together write a illustrated series of novels about Oswald, your RPG character, and illustrate each stream 1 page or something. That's a little bit too ambitious, I admit, but one can dream. Alright, now when we have this kind of generic pine tree, maybe we can add some more squiggly lines here and there, but don't make them too distinct. Like, they have to be a little bit different from each other, but not too distinct so you would see the pattern immediately. I forgot who was Swedish among proper sketchbooks fans. Is anyone Swedish here? Let's see. I think maybe Solar Farm? Nay. Alright, so now we have this brush drawn. Let's do the export it as, I don't know, PNG, let's say, and just, oh, actually maybe we can I can just share it in sketchbook side notes maybe. No, well, I'll share it later there when we create a brush maybe. Alright, let's save the image. It's Swedish for no. sounds like that. Swedish is our second language in Finland. Is it a second official language? Now let's get back to the map. And let's say, let's create a new brush basically. It gives us, so when you go here in the brush library, you can click the plus button, click tap, smoosh, yes, official. So like all the street names and government documents are in both languages, plus English, I guess. Yes, I remember streets have names on 2 languages. Ah, I see. Mainly in the capital and up north where land actually connects to Sweden. Makes sense. Alright, so let's say we have this brush. When you go to shape here, there's shape source and it's a circle. And you can say edit. Unfortunately, you can't just draw here. That would be a great feature. Schmelikopter posted a link that looks kinda weird, but let's say it's a real link. Schmelikopter, is it safe for showing on stream? Okay, let's admire for a second. Where is it? Browser source. We can do it here, I think. There it is. Schmelikopter illustrated this book, guys. Var är Benny's Uglor? What happened to Benny's Uglers? Do I translate it correctly? €12 for a hand illustrated book sounds like a good deal. Anyway, let's get back to this guy. So we click here import, and here you can see a lot of different options. So let's just import a photo for now. Select this one, the one we created, and now it's here. So now when you draw with this, you see it's already different, but to make it more forestable, you need to play around with the settings. So for example, first of all, let's go to stroke path and increase the setting, the spacing for, I think about, depends on how close you want them to be, but I think 60% is moving them for half of the frame plus 10% basically. So like, that's at least my understanding. But yeah, 60% works here just fine. And then in the shape back, you can select all these different parameters and make the trees rotate with each increment of the stroke, so to say. Yes, plus delivery. In shops it will cost more. Okay, let's draw brushes. But to draw brushes, you need brushes. Luckily, Procreate gives you some brushes to start drawing your own brushes. So that's the first thing. Let's scatter the rotation. Scattering basically makes them even more random. Count is how many times you want them to be placed each time. You can make count jitter as well, and then you will have these weird shapes. Clear drawing pad. But I don't want count because I want to have them individually, one by one. Let's say randomize, so it's even more random. You can flip them in all directions. This stuff, I don't know what it I don't know what it is. Some roundness nonsense. Don't think you need it for the forest. And basically you're kind of good to go. The other thing you can do is somewhere here in properties, I think. No, dynamics? Yeah, in dynamics you can make the size jitter, meaning the size of the tree will be different each time. And if you don't do it too crazy, just maybe like, I don't know, 10%, then they're slightly different, but not too different that it looks weird. And you're basically done, I think. Let's call this brush Forest 2. We can also, I think, somewhere deselect the fading, maybe in properties, minimum opacity. Yeah, so now it's always at 100%, unless you don't press that hard, I guess. You can make a Christmas wrapping paper design with that brush, I feel like, says Nervin. Yeah, could be, but let's see. So now we can get the color, go into our base color, and there you go. You have the trees. You can make the brush smaller, make smaller trees. Make sure you press really hard. Wait, let's minimum opacity, maximum. Ah, there you go. Pressure doesn't control opacity. So back in the settings for the brush, you can go in Apple Pencil and remove the opacity. This way you'll always have these super crisp pine trees. And that's how I made this forest. And when you zoom out, I think it looks different, like diverse enough to be believable. So I'm actually quite happy with it. Just add some balls. Wait, what? I think I missed something in the conversation. You can make a Christmas wrapping paper with a brush, I feel like. Just add some balls. Oh, you mean you mean ornaments. Okay, we have all of these. I mean, not we, I have all of this in one layer. Not sure it was a good idea because we'll need to add the details. But maybe first I'll put this to overlay. Christmas balls. Christmas balls of a Christmas tree. now, I mean, I already have all the trees drawn, so I don't really need the brush. But what I do need is some kind of like a textured brush for maybe adding a little more details to this. Let's try this out. Also, let's turn on the reference so we can see the whole picture all the time. For some reason, every time I turn on the reference, it shows it sideways, and unfortunately you cannot turn the canvas within the reference specifically. Christmas balls. Let's think what... Also, maybe we can create another brush with more texture. Let's finish this field first and maybe create another one. And I was also thinking, what are we going to draw next time? Can you create a brush using several images? You can have a shape. Basically, your brush shape is black and white. So whatever you can convert to grayscale, you can use as a brush shape. And then, let's see. So the brush shape is anything. Let's import another photo. Okay, no, let's have this bird. So this will be this is the brush shape, and then in the grain you can also select the grain source, which is like a texture that you'd put on top. And here you can say, I don't know, the texture, I mean, it's not gonna work, but then you can like think about how it's gonna repeat. Overlap the borders a little bit more. Let's stop scribbling, Apple Pencil. Gee. So that's actually pretty unexpected. So now you have this texture that's being applied on the thing, and then you can like change the texture. So basically it's like two images on top of each other you can have. You can select the different blending mode. Where is soft light? Don't know what subtract is. Anyway, but this is kinda what I know about it. Not much. A lot of settings. Yeah, so I think it's the images, but you can create um when you're creating the brush. So on this stage, when you're creating the shape, you can also make this brush more interesting. It can be an image, it can be, no, it can have shades, I guess, to some degree. And then you can import an image here. So this way you can combine different images. Does this make sense? You need to convert them to, I mean, they will be automatically converted to black and white, but you can have more control if you do it yourself. Yeah, something like this. Let's say, does I don't know what purpose this serve, this exercise that I'm doing. But let's finish this. Let's save this image. Export successful. Perfect. Let's go back to the gallery. Let's draw. Let's get the references back. And let's see if we can select here in the shape instead of a magpie. Is this magpie? Oh no. Come back. Import a photo. This one. Done. Damn it, I didn't save again. Okay. Third time is the charm. Alright, let's turn some jitter a little bit. Let's actually make a decent brush out of this, maybe. Floor oranges, pool, dilution charge. This is also a crazy section that I never dove into. The color dynamics. Alright, so we have this brush now. It doesn't have tapering, but it's supposed to have quite a bit of texture. Yeah, I did something. Show us. Also, let's add tapering to this one. How do you How do you do it again? In Apple Pencil size? Yeah. I sent something. Where did you send it? Did you send it to the Telegram chat? Oh, come back. Mm-hmm. Leaves. That's pretty cool. You can also, you know, in the color dynamics here, you can actually do like a lot with these. If you change the hue a little bit and saturation a little bit, then and you like there are all these parameters. Then you can just select one color and it will produce different shades of it while you're drawing. Let's see. Whee! See, that's what I mean. It can produce all the shades you need for anything. But it's pretty cool. I was kind of expecting something like that from you. To be honest, you didn't fail my expectations. Nice job. But I don't really like this brush. Let's pick the other one again. To make a really good brush, it takes a lot of skill, I feel like. I never managed to create a brush that was like really good or better than what I have already from different packs and standard brushes as well. But I was thinking what we're gonna draw next time. And recently I've been playing around with this idea of just quick thumbnails. I can show you here. Basically, I don't know, something like this, when you just quickly. Standard brushes in Orocreate are pretty good. Yeah, they are. They actually are. Like, they're good enough to start and get good and then create your own brushes or buy brushes or whatnot. But what I was saying, like this, we can, I don't know, create. I saw Jay Stiller, another Twitch streamer, really inspiring guy, drawing this. Basically, at the beginning of the stream, he draws maybe like 12 thumbnails, and that's the viewers vote on them, and then pick, like, the viewers pick one, and he draws it until the end of the stream, until the end of times. But that's, I like this idea with drawing thumbnails just to warm up and kind of get the ideas going. But the thumbnails that I was doing lately, they're kind of mostly just random blobs of color. It's not like I have an idea like, oh, I want to draw a, I don't know, city in the sky or something, or medieval castle. Like, it's always just, let's draw some blobs of color and see where they lead me. So far I only used standard brushes in Procreate and enjoyed them. I know which ones you enjoyed the most. I will show you secrets. Where is this? Where is the lightning brush? Light pen flare? No. Where is the lightning? Abstract? No. Textures. Can't find it. But you like that lightning brush. Also cool for creating color palettes for future illustrations, thumbnails. But should it be like a theme, a topic for thumbnails? Or should we just try to go wild and then see where it gets us? It was a brush for water that I used for lightning. Ah, I see. Yeah, a lot of good brushes anyway. Alright, does this actually add anything? Let's think about that. I think it does. It does add some more interest. But we can also do it the other way. Clipping mask. We can also just create another layer on top and add some texture to these fields. Don't know if this makes it better. Let's see. Makes it look a little bit more cloudy, but doesn't really have a reason to be cloudy. Does this help maybe? A little bit. Yeah, I feel like this is okay actually. We'll just, like, it's a simple shading for this kind of maps. Usually it's just like 3 colors, one for base color, one for lighter color, and one for darker, like for shading and lighting, highlights. So it doesn't have to be that fancy. There will be, I guess, more dirt around this house rather than just green grass. Paul Greengrass, director of Bourne movies, I think, or at least the good ones. There are too many of them now, I feel like. Maybe this one will make more saturated and more red in the darker parts. Let's see. Let's see how this works. Also, haven't been drawing anything traditionally in a long time, and the streams started with traditional media. I used to stream watercolors mostly. So maybe one day we'll get back to that. I not only haven't streamed anything with watercolors, I also haven't used watercolors in quite some time. So I might not remember how to use it. Maybe I lost all my skills. But the muscles will remember eventually. Alright, so there is another field here that is asking for some definition. Let's move it, make it darker and a little bit colder. Always helps to change the hue of the color a bit when you're adding shadows or just a different color. Makes it more lively, I feel like. I think it's probably because we actually see much more colors than we use when we draw. That's a bit too much. I think we can differentiate more colors than we bother picking, and that's why a lot of times drawings don't look believable, because they have not enough color variation that we actually are used to. The same can go the other way. If you go too wild with color variation, it will also look unbelievable. I think in fantasy art, it's, at least for me, I really like when the fantastic places and creatures look as if like realistic enough so you believe they can exist somewhere. Makes them much more, I don't know, fun, interesting. Maybe one corner is a little bit more dark because the corn is rotten. I've been recently rewatching Harry Potter, but in Dutch, and that's really funny. At least at first. The names kind of like, I don't know why, but in some localizations the names are also translated to some, like in some way translated, so they have the same sort of meaning or feeling as the original names. or they reflect the character or something like that. For example, like in Russian translation of Harry Potter, at least in some of the translations of books, Severus Snape was Severus Sneg, which Sneg means in Russian snow, which I think is kind of like, hey, he's, you know, cold and nobody likes him. That's why he's snow, but kind of like Jon Snow. Did the stream stop only for me? I still see the stream. Let's see the show of hands if the stream is still on. Can someone confirm? Schmilicopter says it stops for me as well sometimes. Oh, the whole stream or just the video? The voice vanished completely. For me it has been fine. Did you did you lose another tooth? No video as well. What? Wonder where does that come from? Let's see. I have a little bit of dropped frames. I have 246 frames, but it says that the stream quality is good. Interesting. Maybe his internet went down. No, my internet is fine, and that the Onion can still see me and hear me, right? The trash collectors are here again. It was fine all the time and it still is. Interesting. Like this, the speed seems good, the frame rate is okay. Do you hear the trash guys collecting the trash? Is it too loud? I can ask them to leave. My first Harry Potter book in Russian was without that weird localization. Same here. There was like Hufflepuff, and then the next one is out, and they're yeah, they like at first they just used the words like the English names and just wrote them in Russian. That's also the version I read, and then the second edition was when they translated it into Russian. So Hufflepuff became Puffendui, which I don't know if in English Hufflepuff sounds as dumb and Puffendui in Russian, but Puffendui sounds, I don't know, just ridiculous. Solar Fun, have you bought an iPad already? I thought we agreed last time that you get an iPad for this stream. For this stream. No, just kidding. But just came to my mind for some reason. Yeah, Harry Potter. So I don't know, is it the same with Swedish or Finnish, for example? Or like, do they translate the movies, when they translate the movies, do they also change the names? For example, the Agreed. Yeah, I think we all signed a contract. um but yeah, they what's the name, the Hogwarts, the School of Wizardry and Witchcraft, or whatever it's called in English, it's also translated in Dutch, and it's called Zwijnstein, the something like School of Witchcraft and Hocus Pocus, or something like that. Which, don't know, sounds much more childish and kind of like cute, I feel like, than when I hear it in English. Maybe I'm projecting something. Yeah, as far as I know, they they translate the house names and titles or whatever. Swedes don't translate anything, and that's why they know English so well, I guess. I never read a book, so I couldn't tell. I'm in another iPad Procreate stream. I know, I was just curious, how are you doing? If you drew anything lately. Surprisingly, no names were translated in Germany, which they usually do. They did this in all Game of Thrones, which was stupid. Translating Game of Thrones names. So the dog became Hund. Das Hund. Wait, is he? He's not the dog. He's the hound, right? The dog. I wonder, is it just two different approaches to localization? Like some studios, when they translate, they want to, get the meaning of the name across, so people who don't know English understand that, Ravenclaw is the claw of a raven. So let's translate each word and put them together, so it's Когтевран in Russian or something like that. He was the Bluthund. Ja. Das kloppt. So this can be a pasture, so maybe we should add some cows here. I didn't find any images of the cows in Jared Blando's book, which I'm using as a reference still sometimes. But let's invent how the cows would look from above. First of all, let's make them almost white. That looks like a cow. Hey, that's another cow. Maybe they're gathering next to this side of the yard for some reason. It's enough cows, I guess. Maybe it's sheep, actually. It's probably sheep. Duplicate sheep. Don't know why I duplicated them. Could have drawn them quicker. Sheep. Fluffy sheep. They also need some shading, and they need heads. Heads will be kind of like dark brownish, grayish. Let's just add blobs on the other side of their, oh, on one side of their bodies. Now they look like slugs, kinda. Do they look like, yeah, field maggots? How how do I make them more sheepy? Maybe they have huge horns. Maybe they will look like, more like slugs because of that. I mean, in a bigger scale of things, you can't see them at all, but actually, you know what? Let's just add them shading. Let's make them all a little bit different. First of all, some more yellowish, some are more grayish. Maybe there will be one black sheep, which is not usually black, but just dark. Maybe a gray sheep here. Another yellowish here. Variety. Variety creates interest. Theoretically, they can be all colors, but this map is for kind of like a realistic fantasy world, if such thing exists. Now let's add let's just add another layer. Select this one and then draw on this layer. This way we can just pick a darker color, add shadows to all of them, let's use some more textured brush for that, I guess. I'm kind of assuming that the sun is shining from the top. Top left, maybe a little bit. Need to take that into account when drawing the houses. Haven't shaded those yet. Because we selected this layer first and clicked select, it selected everything on the layer that has non-zero opacity, and because of that we're now drawing only within the selection, so we only draw in the contours of the sheep, if that makes sense. I'm really thinking about buying an iPad, but I should stick with watercolor a bit and not starting something new again. That's also a good plan. Master one media before you move on to the next one. I think at the end of the day it comes down to like how much of it, like of wanting the iPad is just kind of wanting for the sake of wanting, I guess, and how much of it is just a real desire to do digital art or to try it out at least. Because I think if it's the latter, then you will eventually get it and explore it because you really want it. No pressure. I also am thinking often if I would like to do some more traditional painting again. And I would say yes. Also, I stumbled upon a British YouTube, well, it's probably a TV show, but it's on YouTube as well. It's called Portrait Artists of the Year, and apparently they just invite a bunch of professional and amateur artists to paint the live portrait in the museum of some celebrity, and they have only 4 hours to do that, and there is like a bunch of like a big crowd of people walking around, so it's the pressure is high. And I really like how they also, you can hear the judges discuss. So the video stopped again. Did it? Don't know. I still see it. I mean, I also see non-video. Didn't stop for that onion. Yeah, so basically it's like a competition between artists who, I think they're usually like 3 of them paint one person, and there are like around 9 artists altogether. So there are 3 models, some unknown to me, usually celebrities from British TV and theater and culture in general. And then they paint it, the jury looks at the works and select the basically top 3 and then choose one of them, and that's like the whole episode. And then for the next episode there are new people, and that's how they gather the kind of semi-finalists, and then they're all gathered together in the finals to kind of do the same, but with like extra twists and turns along the way. Like, I don't know, it's interesting to hear how art critics and museum collectors and this kind of, I guess, art educated people talk about the submissions and talk about the results, because they like it's a lot of it is modern art or contemporary art. Some of it is more traditional, like they have very different people, different artists with different styles there, which is really cool. I feel I dig it. Kind of doing the same I did already, but with a different brush to give more shadow. Yeah, I think next stream we should draw something different. This map is nice and all, but you know, time comes when you need to move on from one project to another. It's too soon probably for anything winter related, even though it smells like winter in the air here in the Netherlands, at least. Kinda like this feeling that you feel like the winter is already sort of here, but you still don't want to admit it in a way. Because there is some sort of, I don't know, a natural prejudice towards winter. Yeah, I couldn't come up with a name, so since this village is called Shri, I just wrote Shriver, because I don't have a name for this creek. It's not even a river. So if you have a better name, be my guest. I'll gladly use it. I guess it's not hard to come up with a name better than Shriver. There is even Christmas decoration already. Yeah, there is a lot of Christmas decoration in the city. And in windows of people. But I feel like it's kind of, I don't know, is it too early? It's 8th of November. Hey sir, can you stop beeping please? Sir? Sorry, there is someone parking in front of my window. That's the downside of living on the first floor. Or having a recording equipment right in front of the window. It's a big, oh, it's not a sir, I beg your pardon, ma'am. It's quite a big car, that's why she's beeping. But she should be good now. Nice. Good job parking. Just stop there already. Oh, she's coming out again. I'm sorry, I thought you were a sir. Sorry, sir. Thought you were a sir. I think she's a perfectionist. Wants to put the car like very precisely into the parking spot, which I can admire on another day. But today I say, not today. Does it look like pumpkins, by the way? I'm trying to draw pumpkins. It's like a field of pumpkins. It's lacking some green vines, I guess, and leaves. Also, I'm always moving this color slider a little bit left and right, and trying not to paint the two pumpkins next to each other with the same colors. It looks like veggies in general. Well, that's already a start. But what kind of veggies then could it be? Don't know. I mean, it could be carrot butts sticking out of the ground. I think I drew too many pumpkins. It's getting ridiculous. Okay, stop it, pumpkins. Done. Beetroots, carrots, tomatoes, potatoes. I see what you did there. Stupid fat hobbit. Sorry, couldn't resist. Okay, where else should we add more shading? I think the fields are good now, or good-ish, decent. Let's do the roofs. What's the time? 11:15. All right, we have a few more minutes. Let's do the roofs. For that we need the houses. We need another layer probably. Let's put it to alpha lock. Nope. Let's put it to clipping mask. And I think I'll just pick like a bluish color for the shadows, because that's how it works in the countryside, especially on the roofs. Like the shadows on the roofs will be as the color of the sky. So they should be like this. And I think we can go away with the round opacity brush. Just need to kind of make sure the canvas is turned the right way. Because the sun is shining from one side. Will you add some texture to the grass and fields? Yeah, I think a texture would be good. How do you usually add texture? And roads, yeah, roads look boring. How do you usually add texture? Do you just use like a textured brush from, I don't know, inking? No. Artist? Painting? Watercolor? Like this? Or do you have like a texture artist? Do you have maybe like an image of the texture that you just, hey, can you clear? Thank you. Or do you have like an image with texture that you apply on top? Actually, these pumpkins are bigger than sheep. Are we concerned about that? Do we want to make sheep big again? Then they're bigger than the house. Oh no, they stuck to each other. Lost sheep. There we go. I have a noisy gritty brush that just adds tiny dots and stuff. Kinda like this. No, what does this one do actually? This just adds chest hair to everything. Old skin? Jesus. A rough zombie skin? Anyway. I think I got distracted. I was doing the houses. Trying to keep the positioning of the image in the right direction. Let's say it's shining from like a top left, roughly. I think I can also change the the layer style, the overlay mode of this layer to make it more to take some of the or just change the opacity to take on some of the color from the roof color below. Maybe these roofs are a little bit softer. But then again, maybe not. Haven't really used much of the gradient and like, how would you say it? Color, yeah, color gradients on this one. It's like this specific painting is quite flat if you think about it. Which is, of course, an artistic choice. Let's make this roof hay. Straw, straw. Hay, roof. Did you make the noisy gritty brush yourself? These are tiled roofs. These are more like wooden roofs. But they will all have the same color of the shadow. Even the chimney of the blacksmith. I found it somewhere. Okay. Was wondering if you can share it, but if it's not yours, it's okay. Why did I draw these houses sideways? It's harder to shade them. Like this one. Which side will be in the shadow? I guess maybe both to some degree, like this. If it's the sun is shining from the top left. I can leave some of the gaps, I guess, when I'm painting to indicate the, maybe some light is reflecting off somewhere or shining on the roof. Feels like too many colors. You have too many colors. What do you mean too many colors? Where? On the roofs? But the shadow is the same color everywhere. Colorist. Too many colors. What if this layer becomes just like a little bit of a shading layer? Maybe even in normal mode. Too colorful? Okay, what about multiply? Do you think this is better now? Do you think this is better? It's maybe actually better. What do you think, Schmilicopter? Is this better? That's what I like about like working in a separate layer. You can choose different layer modes and kind of not commit to any specific style before you try it out. Have you drawn anything new recently, that Onion? Maybe I'll just call you Onion. I don't have this Onion in the chat yet, so is it okay if I just call you Onion, sir? No, Schmilicopter left us. Didn't comment on the colors. No, I'm not sure what version of my mecha piece you have seen. I have seen, I can tell you, I haven't seen much, I think. So if you want to share, here it is though, let's see. Stream art share. Where did, wait, where did it go? Ah, there it is. Okay, where is my I think you showed it without the color and without this, like without this dome and the background. It's coming together quite nicely. I like the kind of cutout style that you have for this thumbnail so far. This what is the purpose of this shining thing? Is it like a screen? Is it like a cockpit or something like that? I like it. It attracts a lot of attention, but I can't make out what it is. Could be an ad or something like that. But nice progress so far. It's a cockpit. That was for the challenge, right? Is it still ongoing? Maybe we can pick a challenge for the next stream. And do thumbnails. I kind of like the idea of doing thumbnails for the next stream. Don't know the topic of the thumbnails though yet. It finished on the 3rd. Is there, I'll be putting it on the side for now. Is there a next one already? Are you planning to get the other prompt as well? And what is it already known? What's the next prompt? Yeah, next one is on already. What's the prompt? Sorry, I'm using you like Google. It's bloodshed. I'm thinking of doing a V for Vendetta piece or Kill Bill bloodshed. You still want to do like a mecha style unit? V for Vendetta can be really stylish. I like their a little bit, I don't know, steampunkish feel that the movie has. No mecha. Interesting what you're gonna make for bloodshed. I think it might be also cool if I would do like an environment for that. I think maybe I would do like a landscape after a battle of some sorts, or maybe like an ancient battle with just old things sticking out. What are the white thingies next to the houses? These guys, they're kind of market stalls or tents. I will eventually paint. Whoa. I will eventually like make them maybe striped or something like that. I think then it will make more sense. Makes more sense now, right? Yeah, they just need a little bit of color. They're white for now, but I think I will paint them all a bit differently. Oh, these parts are also in shadow. Trying to keep the right orientation on this canvas so I don't lose the track of sun direction. All right, I think we're gonna wrap it up soon. I really like those houses, but it feels like they don't stand out enough because fields and forests are so colorful. Luckily, I have at least houses are on a separate layer. So maybe I can do something about it. And high contrast. Let's see what we can do about it. First of all, let's just combine this stuff. How do we do this? Trying to not lose this mask. Merge down. Okay, let's keep that. Alright, what if we try to change a little bit maybe the curves. Maybe if you add a green transparent layer on top of everything except houses, it gets better. Maybe if I just make everything a little bit less saturated. How about that? They stand out much more now, right? And little ribbons with names instead of numbers. Nah, that I don't think, because like these words will occupy some space, and I feel like they will cover too much. Cover too much of stuff that I was drawing so hard in the past 3 streams. With ribbons, we'll see. Maybe I can fit there. But I also think the numbers are okay. Alright, let's keep it like this then for now. I think I can change the gamma back if I want to. Wait, I will just copy this and then undo adjust curves and then just paste it. Nice. So now I have 2 versions. Let's finish up. Okay. Let's finish up the houses. Ribbons, huh? Oh, look. I found some holes in the roofs. Actually, I think we're kind of done with them. The bees don't have roofs, which is a little bit sad, but they will eventually get them. Hold on, bees. Ah, these guys are left. Can't forget the windmill. Yeah, I think we're actually probably done for today. There are holes in the place where I put the numbers. Now the pumpkins disappeared. Okay, I'll need to work on that a little bit more. Maybe colors are a bit dull if you just desaturate them. That's too easy. Maybe I can then mix them. With like the color property or saturation. All right, let's leave it at this for now. Okay, I think we did some progress today. We created a brush or two and did some shading in this map. most importantly, added the sheep. And I think with that, I want to thank you all for joining me today for this stream. Let's draw some thumbnails next time. If you have a topic in mind, there are millions of ways to share them. But I hope you have a good day, and then have a good week. Rest well, and I see you all next time. Bye bye, everybody.